to another edition of Doorstep History,
which once again comes to you from the Coffin Works,
where this company put their stamp on history.
But first we return to Digbeth, and this week we look at some of the Irish history of the area.
The first stop on our Digbeth tour is just behind me, which is the JFK mural, and this was funded by the Irish community and was originally in the back of Snow Hill. A lot of people remember that, and then thanks to a developer and some planning gain money, we got it moved here to Digbeth. Pat O'Neill, who's the governor at South Birmingham College, who is central really to this area.
As I say, it looks well, it's on the high street. We get lots and lots of visitors because they travel to the coach station and they pop up and get some photographs. So the history and long may it continue, you know.
This mosaic is actually the exact replica of what was behind Snow Hill Station, except there's one difference. There's actually a part of the mosaic which features Mike Nangle, who was the first Irish Lord Mayor of Birmingham. Okay, we've now just crossed the road to the Irish Centre, which has been the heart of the Irish community for many years.
Where you came to socialise, have a drink, talk about home. And then in the Sunday evenings after the hurling and football matches, hurling is played with the small ball and football is played with the big ball. And depending on which ball you supported, we knew what you were about. And on Sunday evenings there would be announced from the stage, where was the MC for the night, the results of the games at home. There was an organisation here called Galway Travel, where you could book your trips to Ireland, get the coach, pick you up here, outside here, and take you to Holyhead. The Irish Welfare, there was offices upstairs, and that was predominantly to look after the people who were less fortunate and needed help. They came here. We had a little station, a little kiosk, shall we say, at New Street Station. And when people got off the train, a lot of them, you can understand, they come from rural Ireland like myself, never been to a big city. They wanted some advice of where to go. And Father Murphy preceded a man called Father Joe Taff, who would advise people and where to go, what to do, and how to find apartments and find jobs, and that became known as the Irish Welfare and Information Centre.
Behind me is the Paragon Hotel, which is originally Rowton House. It was opened in 1903 by a guy called Lord Rowton, who had a bit of a social conscience and wanted to start a place which is a refuge really for Irish immigrants. It then became known locally as the Highgate Hostel in the 20th century. Now it's a hotel, but it was basically a place of cheap accommodation where you could get a meal for what in those days was still quite cheap at a farthing. We're now in St Anne's Community Centre, which is the real heart of the Irish community. It's been that for many years, and in here today there's a class being run. Patrick's in this class. Patrick, what are you doing here?
Trying to learn about computers.
And how long have you been doing that for?
About 18 months.
About 18 months. And how are you doing?
Going along steady. Slow but sure.
It's a great facility here then.
Oh, it's fantastic. And the staff are great.
I suppose the great thing about the internet, people can research Irish history and all sorts of things.
Yeah. The trouble is most of my family have all gone. But most of my family, when they left Ireland, they went to America. And I was actually on my way to America. I was only 17, and I was joining the American Navy, and I come to Birmingham, and I got injured playing football, and I'd have so I could, and you know, I can't. It would be worth some money now, I suppose. I had a letter from, at the time, he was the something with Lyndon Johnson.
I'm the American president.
Yeah, well, I would have had I had a letter saying why I wasn't, you know.
Oh.
And I had to tell him, and I was terrible this. But then again, I'm very lucky. I more than likely wound up in Vietnam.
Trudy runs the centre, I think, don't you, Trudy?
I do, yes. My name is Trudy McGrorty and I'm the Activities Coordinator for Birmingham Irish. I've been here for 12 years now. loving it, as I always did. Mondays we have computers all day, teaching anything from the basics. We have different levels. We have a big club on a Wednesday, belonging to the church group. That's great. They have bingo, quiz, they do raffles, tombolas. It's just a get-together, really. Thursdays and Fridays we cook hot meals and supply them to the members of the public, generally Irish, that come in here. We give out clothes, we do activities, we take them on holidays, we do day trips. One of the favourites is line dancing on a Thursday, very popular. We have about 20 people attend that. We're getting new people all the time. Friday we have bingo bonanza, and God help it if we don't have bingo or something happens or somebody makes a noise or walks across the floor, you'll get a lot of shh, but it's very good. It's operating every day of the week. There's always something going on. I actually take them away maybe Monday to Friday or weekends, but the criteria is everybody wants to go all the time. So we look at the people who haven't been away for a long time. And when we had an incident not so long ago where we went to Great Western, which is, and we had a client crying on the beach. I'd done my Annika challenge to find him because somebody phoned me and said that he was really upset. And it wasn't. He'd never been out of Birmingham since he came to Ireland 42 years ago. So taking him to Western is the first time he's seen the sea. And he was just something like that, to put a coach on and take him to Western, and it changed
What an
him.
experience.
Now, Birmingham Cathedral is celebrating its 300th anniversary, so we've been to take a look at what preparations they're taking for the historic event.
So Jane, what have you been doing for the last year at the cathedral?
This year is the cathedral's tercentenary. We're 300 years old, and we've been celebrating this fact by a whole range of different activities. This has included a series of events. We've had lectures, we've had open days, we're doing family workshops. There's been a display of material around the outside of the railings here, an outdoor exhibition. We've got a new guidebook. There's going to be a series of films that show hidden parts of the cathedral. People are really interested in the tower and going up to the tower, so there is a film about a tour up to the tower. We're also getting volunteers and people involved in discovering more about the history of the cathedral. So there have been archive research projects. We found out some interesting facts, and we're celebrating the treasures that this wonderful building has. Birmingham Cathedral is a Grade 1 listed building. It's an amazing example of a rare English Baroque building. It's built on a ridge, so it would have been on a very high level in the town when it was built. It was built in 1715 when Birmingham was still an emerging town. It wasn't yet the industrial centre that we're so familiar with. So it tells us a lot about the town's aspirations in the early part of the 18th century. One of the real highlights of this year's activity has been our partnership with Birmingham City Council, where we took part in the Chelsea Flower Show. The City Council created this amazing floral display that you see beside behind created in wicker. It was taken down and set up in the Grand Pavilion is that St Chelsea. We were delighted to win a gold medal and also to win the award for the best garden in the Royal Pavilion. You can see that the cupola and the tower of the cathedral have been recreated here. The range of colours in the display is reminiscent of the wonderful Burne-Jones windows that you see inside the cathedral. On this side of the display, there's the representation of the nave with a number of pews alongside it. And these pews have got the names of all of the bishops of Birmingham that there have been since 1905. It's a really wonderful display. We're really proud of it and delighted to be able to have it back here in the churchyard during this summer. One of the interesting quirks in this display is the way they've portrayed the years 1715 to 2015. If you look carefully at the clock faces, you can see on this side 8:15. If you translate that to 24-hour clock, it's 2015. And then if you go around the other side, you see 515, and that translated to 24-hour is 1715. Been really great to be part of sharing the cathedral's heritage in this tercentenary year. It's enabled us to meet new people, share the history of the building with a wider audience, and explore some of the hidden secrets of the building.
A new website has been created to show the changes of land usage in Birmingham over the past 400 years. Sarah's speaking to Adrian, the creator of the website, to find out more.
So we're back at the Coffin Works and we're in what was the metal stores, but it's actually now the Coffin Works shop. And joining me is Adrian Exinti, who's here today to present his latest research all about Birmingham Maps. That's right, isn't it, Adrian? What's it all about?
It is about mapping and describing and dating the past and present land uses of every piece of land in Birmingham. So every piece of land in Birmingham becomes a record in what is called the historic landscape characterization.
Right.
And all the previous changes that piece of land has gone through, from when it may have been farmland to what we see today, have been recorded thanks to this project.
It's an incredible project. And isn't there a map, quite an old map? I got quite excited when I heard 1553. Tell us more about that.
This is a reconstructed map of central Birmingham as it was in 1553. It is a map that was actually published in the 1891. But the rest of the maps start from 1701, which is a map of Edgbaston Manor, and they go up to the present day. The project also used aerial photos and any piece of information that helped us work out what every piece of land in Birmingham was used for.
So the point of this is it, am I right in thinking you can superimpose later maps over earlier maps?
Absolutely, that's what we try to do with the mapping web pages. Being able to look at new maps on top of old maps, and also to produce what is called thematic mapping. So produce a series of time slice maps that show the changes in the city since the 16th century, basically.
Fantastic. And look out for more of those changes during our medieval slot on Doorstep History. Adrian, this is a mega piece of research. How long did it take for you to put this all together?
The project started in November 2011, so it's nearly 4 years in the making, and it was funded by English Heritage. They used to be called Historic England, as they are called now.
Yeah.
And extensively supported by the Birmingham City Council.
So Adrian, how can we access the maps?
Well, the maps can be accessed from the HLC page on the main Birmingham City Council site, which will be www.birmingham.gov.uk/HLC.
And Adrian, what's the biggest benefit to the public?
The biggest benefit for the public from this data is that they, using the mapping web pages, the public can really see how the landscape of the area of today's Birmingham has changed over the centuries in a very sort of visually friendly way that even a 10-year-old can understand, because it is so visual.
And it's free.
And it is free. Incredible. And it's a public, it's a public website, and anyone can look at it and see graphically how the city has gradually changed to what it is, the area of the city has gradually changed to what it is today.
Over a few hundred years. That's absolutely fantastic. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Now, if your relative has any stories or history from across the region that you'd like us to share on the show, then please don't hesitate to get in contact with us, either with our email, history@bigcentre.tv, on our Twitter @BigCentre TV, or on our Facebook. Just search for Big Centre TV.
Welcome back to the Coffin Works, the new home of Doorstep history, and with me is Christine Cushing, the chair of Birmingham Civic Society, and we've won an award recently here, haven't we, at Birmingham Conservation Trust?
Yeah, that's right.
Can you tell us a bit more?
Yeah, I'd love to. The Birmingham Civic Society occasionally awards a Renaissance Award, and it's for the best conservation projects in Birmingham during the year of its conservation, and it might be a building, a factory,
Right.
A park space or a church. In 2014, we decided that there were two projects that were worthy of awards.
Wow.
The Newman Brothers Coffin Works and the schoolyard in Harborne.
Now, is that unusual to award two awards?
Very much. We've only awarded, I think, 6 in our history, and we were founded in June 1918.
Wow. June 1918?
Yes.
And you've
We
only...
didn't start the Renaissance Awards, I think, till 2009, but yes, we haven't awarded many. There have been some years when we haven't felt that there was any project that was worthy of the award, but our planning committee was so impressed by both the Coffin Works and the schoolyard that we felt that we wanted to award two. A part of the judging criteria is that they have to make a difference to their area and enhance their area. The schoolyard is on Harborne High Street. It was derelict for many, many years and a real eyesore, but it's brought a brand new lease of life to the High Street. It's brought in new restaurants. There's a cookery school, so there's an educational side to the restoration project. And they've also restored the clock tower.
So it's mixed use then, what they've done with it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, restaurants, a cookery school. This is phase 1 of the building. Phase 2 are some flats at the building at the back.
Wow. Okay, great place to live.
Very much so. Surprisingly, you have excellent views over the city centre. You don't realise that you're quite high on Harborne High Street. So I think all the flats are sold.
Already?
Yeah,
Okay.
including the schoolmaster's house, which is on the side. But yeah, it's a really interesting restoration project as is here.
And here's some film of what happened at the award ceremony. The Coffin Works is indeed flavour of the month, and we've received quite a few awards recently, one of which includes the Historic England's Favourite Angel Award, as voted for by the public and presented by Andrew Lloyd Webber at the Palace Theatre, London. This is Simon Buteau, Director of Birmingham Conservation Trust, talking about the coveted award at one of our recent events. The Lord Mayor was also there to present our very prestigious Birmingham Civic Society Renaissance Award that you heard Christine talking about earlier. And as you can see from the crowds, there was a good turnout of people to share and celebrate our success. The other Civic Society Renaissance Award was presented at the schoolyard in Harborne. Lord Whitby of Harborne was on hand to receive the award, along with the developer of the scheme, Neil Edgington. He spoke exclusively to Doorstep history.
So we found this building on Harborne High Street and sort of fell in love with it. Not many people could see through all the scaffold, but we got this vision that behind all of that scaffold and all the banners and everything else that was a blight, frankly, to Harborne High Street, was a beautiful Grade 2 listed building. It just needed a cuddle, and that was our mission really. Let's bring this thing back to life. Let's remove all of this horrible scaffold. Let's make it safe, and let's give it back to the community with uses that the community can enjoy. The building was built in 1891 as a school, and there's so many people in Harborne High Street that I still bump into today that remember this building because they were taught here or they came to a class here, or not in 1891, I have to say. There's very few of those people left. But they came to a class here or evening class, and it's great that these people are now enjoying it in another chapter of its life.
It appears to me that the light is only there on 3 of the 4 clock faces.
Yes, you are very observant. As you rightly say, one of the 4 clock faces does not illuminate. That's very intentional, so it's not because the bulb's gone out or something. It's very intentional, and the reason is that clock face faces the new residential building, and because these clocks are illuminated all night, we didn't want it sort of disturbing residents, etc., and that's why the clock face that faces the residential building is not illuminated. Very important to us was the public square that you can see all around us now. It's giving Harborne a place, giving people a place to meet and sit and have a coffee, but also picking up on the heritage of the building, and there's 2 relevant elements in my view there. One of them is the food school, and the second is the phase 2 building. So picking up on the food school first, how do we bring back the building that was built as a school and make it relevant for today? And there were various statistics, and one that's stuck in my head for several years now is the one that says by 2030, 60% of children in the UK will be clinically obese because of lack of food awareness and lack of food skills taught at school. So that sort of struck a chord with me and thought, we need to try and fix that. You know, we can't fix the whole problems, but how do we play a part in bringing this building back and addressing some of the needs of the local area? And that's what the food school's all about, and that's open now, and it caters for corporate bookings, it caters for individual bookings, and of course it gives free places to schools and people who can't necessarily, you know, ordinarily participate in those classes, and that's what it's all about, teaching skills again. And secondly, the second phase of the development, which is a residential building, and that is made of black zinc. It's a blackboard that sits sort of at the back of this public square. And again, to hint back at what this place was, it was a school, hence the blackboard.
Well, that's it for another edition of Doorstep History here on Big Centre.
Goodbye.
And thanks for watching.